John Carey here. Today we're going to jump into part 2 of our powerlifting and Olympic lifting program. I'll link part 1 in the description for those who missed it. In that video we went over the first half of the program. So today we're going to cover the second half of the program along with a few other considerations at the end of the video. So let's get to it. Alrighty, in session 3 we're going to do our second squat session of the week, followed up with some deadlifts, but no Olympic lifts today. The squatting today will be performed at a lower intensity than in the first session, and it'll be more volume based. What we're going to do is take 85% of our heaviest set of 5 from session 1 and attempt to do 5 sets of 5 reps with it. So if we topped out at 300 pounds for 5 reps earlier in the week, then today we'll be attempting to hit 5 sets of 5 with 255. After we finish up here, we move on to the deadlift. Throughout the entirety of the program, you should never strain or grind on a deadlift. We're already going to be squatting twice a week and doing lots of dynamic pulling from the floor via the Olympic lifts, so we don't want to create a deficit that we can't recover from by going too heavy on the deadlift. For this program, I recommend you stick with about 80% of your max on deadlift day. So if you're a 400-pound puller, you'll start off with 320 pounds on session 1. You can do anywhere from 6 to 10 sets of 3 reps. The focus here should be on maintaining perfect form and good bar speed. If things are feeling bad, then stick to performing a lower number of sets. If they're feeling good, then you can feel free to go all the way up to 10 sets. Just remember, good form and good speed. If you lose either of those, then you call it a day. Session 4 is the last session of the week. In this session, we'll perform the power versions of both Olympic lifts, along with some more benching. Now, the power versions are generally considered to be easier on the body, both mentally and physically, than the full versions. So even though we'll be putting in a pretty good bit of volume today, it's actually not that difficult of a session for the body to recover from. For both the power snatch and the power clean, we're going to work up to a heavy triple and then take 20 to 40 pounds off the bar and do another 3 to 5 sets of 3 reps. Start with the snatch, do all of your sets, and then move on to the clean. After this, we're going to bench press. Since this is the second bench session of the week, we're going to lower the intensity a little bit from earlier in the week and focus more on getting in some volume. For this session, we'll take 90% of our best set of 5 from earlier in the week and do 5 sets of 5 reps with it. So that means if you hit a top set of 250 for 5 reps earlier in the week, today you'll do 5 sets of 5 with 225. After this, we'll finish up with some rear delt work to balance out the benching. You can do anything from band pull-aparts to face pulls to rear delt flies, whatever strikes your fancy. Just be sure to keep the load relatively light and really feel the upper back and the rear delts working. 3 to 5 sets of 15 to 20 reps should suffice here. And that pretty much sums up the program. I go into a little bit more detail about the whys of the program on my blog, or I can even do a follow-up video if people are interested, but I do want to mention a few final things on here though. First and foremost, just remember that your legs are doing a lot of work on this program. Probably more work than they're used to, and they will feel tired for the first few weeks of it. But eventually they will adapt to the workload, so just remember that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Part of the beauty of the program is that all of the progressions, except for the deadlift, are auto-regulated. So you do your heavy squat and bench work at the beginning of the week by working up only as high as your body is capable of on that day. And then you use a percentage of that load later in the week. And the same goes for the Olympic lifts. You only go up as high as you're capable of on any given day, and then your rep work is based on your daily max. This type of progression can be used for a long-term cycle, and it allows you to be successful because it accounts for daily fluctuations in strength and technical proficiency. And so, really, you should concern yourself less with the actual weight on the bar each session and more with getting in quality work and eliciting a training effect. The important thing is that there's a general upward trend over time, but not necessarily from session to session. Lastly, I want to mention the limitations of this program. The main problem is that powerlifting and Olympic lifting are both sports in their own right, and you can't effectively train for both at the same time. Therefore, by trying to do so, you'll be limiting your potential in each one. Olympic lifting especially, because it's so technique dependent, is benefited by training the lifts much more frequently than this. On the other hand, with the power lifts, eventually weak points will start to show up in specific areas of the lifts, and these can be cured by doing accessory work that targets the muscles involved in those weak points. However, because we're focusing on both sports at the same time, we don't really have the time or the energy to do the Olympic lifts more frequently or to start accessorizing our weak points in the power lifts. But even though we won't make optimal progress in each individual endeavor, as far as maximizing your Supertotal goes, this is a damn good program, and I would run it myself if that was my goal. Alright guys, that's all I got for now. Please make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Also, check out my blog for more details about this program, and I will catch you guys next time.